Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Rocket Monday, we're going to talk about space news from 03/07/2026. So let's dive deep into it. So first interesting news is the Blue Origin. As you know, they had a minor kaboom event, so this was bad. And here's the deal, they also have certain deadlines which they can't just loll around, which is Artemis and Kepler. Now problem with that is Artemis, again, that's supposed to happen soon, and Kepler is basically has an issue where they took basically licensing from FCC. FCC grants you license to utilize a certain wavelength. Now that wavelength, again, FCC will fight for you if somebody else uses it, but they have a requirement. You can take the license. If they grant you, they will take care of it. Great, awesome. But you must use it. Like, no matter how rich you are, you can't just like, okay, I'm going to collect this spectrum and then I'm going to keep it. No, use that because it's a governmental system. It's designed for public good. It must utilize the spectrum. So, and if you're like, hey, I basically, you must have heard like sometimes companies make movie just so they do not lose the patent rights or like, copyright or something like that. Same thing. You have to use it. You can't just like, okay, I bought it and I'm keeping it. No, either use it or lose it. So that has happened, as in none of their rocket came on time. For example, the Vulcan, I have no idea what the hell is going on with it. Their New Glenn minor boom event. So fundamentally, they're stuck. In that sort of scenario, they really need to get the ball rolling because they are already dealing with spectrum penalty, and it's not money penalty. It's like, yeah, you had this much bandwidth, we're gonna half it. So it's not something that you can just like, I can pay it. Of course, Jeff Bezos can pay it. It's just that that's not how it works. You have to utilize it. So pressure is on in order to get this puppy off the ground. To make sure that they can do that, they are doing double duty. So the idea is that tower will now be the primary tower, as in like it's gonna do everything. It's gonna be the lightning arrestor, it's gonna do the erector job, and it's gonna do the umbilical job also. So before that, they had an erector that carried the rocket horizontally, yoinked it vertically, and it had all the umbilicals. Yeah, that is gone. That is completely gone, deleted, shift deleted from reality. So I'm pretty sure it would take way too long for them to actually make it. So the idea is the rocket is robust enough, stiff enough where they can just like handle it. It's not that much hassle. So the idea is you're gonna handle the rocket easily handleable part, bring it horizontally, yoink it straight, and then do the tower for extra thing. Tower will now have a clamp. It's gonna hold the clamp. So, and again, they do not want the large hinge mechanism because again, it may be better, but it will take too long. So they need to get this running in few months. The easiest design is almost like how India GSLV has that. It's like, so that's a clamp is gonna hold it, and after the clamp has holding it, they're gonna install the payload. Payload will come on a different crane, so to say. The crane is gonna hoist the payload and directly dock it. So this payload will be docked on top of that. Has this been done? Yes, a lot of vertical integration is done like this. It's just generally not done in open. Generally, you do it inside a enclosed building, but time is of the essence. They need this ball rolling, so they're like, yeah, let's do it, open air. And this crane is very significant. This crane was exactly in Boca Chica. So it is a big puppy. Again, there are not that many big puppies, so it is super easy to spot and find. So, and again, they have rotated the rocket 90 degrees because again, that allows the umbilicals to be in the right direction. Everything here is get it done as quickly as possible because they are disassembling the tower brick by brick and rebuilding it. If they have a fault, damage, corrosion, or whatever have you, repair that part and add extra parts that you need. So stage 1 and 2 will be stacked horizontally, and the vertical payload integration should allow them quick enough turnaround that they should be able to launch before 2027. That's the aim. The whole point why I go through all this hassle is that everybody who's saying that it will take 18 months, they're not wrong. Like if you truly try to do everything exactly how it was, it will take that long, if not longer. So the whole idea is they had to lose weight in order to get it done before 2026 is out, and they have to, otherwise that spectrum penalty can get off and Artemis can also lose. So pressure is on and they are moving. Like they cleaned that puppy up quickly. Oh, it's like boom happened, boom, move it as quickly as possible, clean that out like 2-3 weeks, and they lucked out. A lot of the gas infrastructure is fully intact, so they lucked out in that department. So let's see comment down below, do you think they will be able to launch before 2027 or not? Now we come to the daddy of NASA, which is OIG, Office of Inspector General. And the whole idea is that spaceport, basically this whole launch complex 39A, 39B, basically this whole space launch complex, yeah, it has expired. Basically, it's done. Now, it was built in 1960. It was built with 50 years lifespan. That 50 years was almost 10 years ago. So yeah, it's not expired as in like, oh, it failed. It's like, bro, I died long ago. How long you gonna drag my corpse? That's the whole point of it. So the gas system is way too undersized for today's need. For example, they're like, we're gonna have helium, we're gonna have nitrogen, and again, you do not want everything to be shipped via trucks. So all those pipes are great. It's just that the flow rate is so low that it's difficult for them to actually utilize it effectively. And again, if Starship comes there, yeah, they did. They did. Like Starship, like alone will drink it. And current issue is so bad. If SLS launches, they have to have wait period. It's like, wait, let all other things to recuperate, and then we're gonna launch some another rocket. And the target is launching hundreds of rockets per year. Yeah, this pipeline is like, bro, I'm out. I'm expired long ago. Then you have electrical wiring, because again, rockets do consume a lot of electrical power. Yeah, the substation here and the switchyard, all of those jazz, yeah, they were designed for like give or take 13 megawatts of power rating. Yeah, it's so little nowadays. Again, it was amazing for 50 years. It worked amazingly for 50 years. It's still working. It's just that now SpaceX has to consume so much power. They're like, okay, we're gonna put a giant battery box there. We're gonna charge during the downtime, and for the launch time, we're gonna use that battery to provide the power. But again, you can understand that's not gonna scale quite well, because all it is doing temporal compression. You have very small pipe, you have a giant reservoir, it's gonna take giant amount of time to recharge it. So that 30 megawatt is not enough for super heavies. And I do not mean Starship super heavy, as in anything else. Like SLS too much, yeah, not happening. If you start to launch basically Blue Origin rocket, not happening. It's basically the transformer is corroded, the wiring is reached a point where it's like it was covered by a wood pipe. Like, wait a minute, we used wood pipes, a specific type of stuff, wood pipe, and then you had tar layer onto it. Yeah, it's ancient technology, literally from 1960s. Yeah, it worked great, it's just that it's dead. So that has to be done. And what were the road infrastructure and bridges? Yeah, they did. They're like, I was designed for this sort of thing. Cool, awesome, we did. And you are increasing the tonnage of the rockets that are crawling on top of them. So yeah, they are like, basically they're like, we did. So everything is basically failing or aging out 50 years plus. Like, nothing is wrong with that. Like, you cannot blame the original designers. They built amazingly awesome hardware. That's why you are still here. It's just that it was not built for infinity. So why can't NASA just take money and fix it? Well, NASA has this law known as Anti-Deficiency Act, so to say, as in, because it's a governmental owned property, as in like, who owns this? NASA owns this. NASA leases it out, but because it is a national property, it has to be maintained nationally, as in, if they start taking money, let's just say they start taking money for SpaceX to repair it and rebuild the service, they have to prioritize it, otherwise they will not give the money. So that creates a what you call perverse incentive. For example, let's say Blue Origin pays, SpaceX pays, great, awesome, but here's it. Now there is a new company that comes in. These companies were like, okay, we're gonna cut money if you give them that access. Again, it's a very wise, thought out thing, but they need a clever way. Space Force from day one has that better thinking. They're like, we're gonna lease at you, repair it at your own. Again, ask a lawyer how the heck they skirt around it, but it is skirted around in Space Force. Space Force does not have any issue. It's like, oh, this launch pad is crippling, repair it. And again, it is in every private company's best interest to turbocharge the electrics, turbocharge the gaseous system. It will help them. Like, SpaceX is not saving money by putting giant battery box there. It is unwise, wasteful, and deleterious to them. So it would be much more suitable for them. It's like, hey, let me, like, I'll take it free on the house. I will take care of it, but they can't let it. So this is the only time I've seen basically Office Inspector General not blaming NASA. It's like, NASA knows this. NASA has been asking, but because its Congress bill is required to bypass that, yeah, that's not happening. So at this point in time, NASA and all the private players are begging Congress to solve this legal BS. Again, it's just legal BS. There may be a cheat code that because you are leasing it, you are responsible for the damage, that kind of thing. Not just like, okay, upgrade. If they say upgrade, then it's like, you know, taking payment. It's like responsible for the damage. That may be a clever way of working out. Again, lawyers speak. So yeah, these pads are in dire need. They're like, we have $200 million. What would it take to repair it? $1 billion. So yeah, it's bad. Then we come to another government agency, which is Government Accountability Office. Yeah, they are like, yeah, USA is about to poop itself because ISS has reached a critical point. As in, if the current problem is not solved very quickly, USA can have a gap in space program. And I do not mean gap of like a few days there was no American in space. Like, no, there is no American in space for months or maybe even years. And that is not acceptable because again, ISS is alive because it's being maintained, and because it's being maintained 24/7 into 365 for 25 plus years, it had created a whole infrastructure on ground in this country, as in like a USA. So that infrastructure will fall apart very quickly if there is no ISS. These people will not stay on hold. Like, you have to pay them, and again, to pay them you have to utilize them. So that creates an issue. Losing space asset, International Space Station, is not acceptable thing for them. They will lose so much. Like, if ISS is down for 1 year, the amount of loss they will have would be bonkers. So, and that risk is now reaching 2030, as in 4 years from now, that could happen. It's almost going to be worse than what happened with Space Shuttle. While Space Shuttle was retired, they had a Russian capsule to carry people into ISS, and it has been maintained. So that does create an issue where it's like America can lose its wing, and this time it will lose its nest, so to say. They lost the wings during basically Space Shuttle era. Now without the nest, where the hell you gonna go? So, and the primary hurdle is that there is single commercial option. That's not acceptable. Like, while there are so many players playing into it, the Axiom, Blue Origin, Sierra Space, SpaceX, Starlab Space, and Vast Space, they are only paying for one. And again, you know what happened with one contract, Space Shuttle. And again, the only reason America has space crew capsule is simply because they paid two people. One was Boeing, another was SpaceX. So there is no way of getting a human rated space station before 2030 in LEO. Like, they are flat out as like, it is extremely unlikely. And again, if governmental people are saying it's extremely unlikely, yeah, don't even think about it. Because here's the deal. ISS is far more difficult than a capsule, because capsule lands. You can, oh, what happened, what worked, what did not work. Space station stays there, as in the air recirculation system has to work for years. Basically, water recycling system has to work for years. Everything is like, yeah, you put it, you forget it. So you have to test it for long duration. Like, for example, if Vast Space actually launches something, great, amazing. But the Mark 1 they're going to launch will rely on Dragon in order to be basically a lifeboat. If something bad happens, they're going to go to Dragon and yeet out of there. You can't expect that on ISS replacement, so to say. So the idea is, even if, which again, Vast Space should have launched by now, but hasn't. And again, all of these are claiming amazing things. None of them are delivering. So the idea is, are you able to actually deploy it, launch it, then test it for 2 years, then design the next stage one? Yeah, that's not happening. So reality is, at this point in time, they have to increase ISS stay period, but because they pooped the bed last time, as in there is no documentation for it. I have no idea how the heck NASA can do an action. It's like, okay, we're gonna take this action and don't have documentation over it. Like, generally, this is in this report. It's like, please, for the love of God, we know you're gonna extend the life. Please document it this time. So that's hilarious. Basically, and another aspect was, you only have one crew capsule for a commercial system, because again, if you had one bankruptcy, you had one boom event, crippled, the end. So fundamentally, the likelihood of all being done in time is now zero, and there is no tangible solution. And you're like, okay, why can't we just extend ISS life? ISS has expired. Like, fundamentally, it was built for, like, first it took way too long to build. Why? Space Shuttle was designed for like few launches a year. It barely did it. Like, the hope and dream that was sold was like 2 launches per month. What they got was 2 launch per year. So that took way too long. So that was the delay part. And not to mention, it has been occupied, it has been used, it has been well utilized. The Russian models are cracking. Like literally, this happened a few days ago. They're like, oh, there is a crack. Let's drill on each other's side. Now put epoxy in it to make sure that gas leaks are slow enough. So yeah, that's structurally compromised Russian side. And then what about the American side? While it can work, it's just that now astronauts there are just repairing the ISS. They're not working anymore. It's like it said you need minimum 3 people 24/7 just to make sure the ISS is maintained. Like nothing is wrong with it. It's just that it's old. It was built for, like, the solar panel wore out. That's why they had, like, the rollable panel add on. It's like, bro, I'm done. And that's why they need a what you call quick solution. And they thought that quick solution was basically like Axiom, and every other private company was like, okay, we're not gonna compete, because again, if you wanted that from day one, you should have done that, but you did not. So now it defaultly only favors Axiom, so that was undone. So basically the idea is somehow drag it to a few more years, like 2035, because again, even that is pushing it, simply because it's physically falling apart. Micrometeorites are happening, so much stuff is happening. It's just like it's physically pushing it too much. And again, they need time and money for basically SpaceX to build a dedicated deorbiting vehicle. Yeah, all of them is not happening. So basically, reality is most likely we're gonna be stretching ISS from 2030 plus. This is gonna be a mess. However, one interesting mission is happening, that is VICTUS HAZE, which is from Rocket Lab. And you have to understand that Space Force has a very unique directive. The directive is tactical responsive space. That's the mission project, so to say. The idea is China goes boom boom on Taiwan. Okay, China will do everything in its power to blind America. To blind America, you have to blind a lot of asset they have in low Earth orbit and geostationary. Now, geostationary is a bit difficult, so they are not touching about it right now, but low Earth orbit, again, that's the highest fidelity. So if Russia, basically if China can blind them via lasers, damage them via some electronic warfare, or do something to those assets, or just have some satellite that was in the orbit but is like now comes there and physically destroys your satellite, that creates a scenario where it's like you are blind. Being blind in a battlefield is not acceptable. But again, it's space. It's not something that's like, hello, 24-hour pizza delivery. And US Army budget was like, hello, we are US Army, we can afford 24-hour delivery. So that's the whole essence. Every company that is part of this tactical response space project has to keep a rocket in hot spare. As in, for Rocket Lab, it's let's just say they pick a rocket, put it in a basically very well environmentally controlled chamber for 1 month, and at the end of the month, either the basically Space Force uses it or not use it. If they don't use it, they pull it out, use it in normal service, and put a new one there. So there is always a hot spare of rocket, and they put a satellite bus, like this bus there as a ready. So the idea is they're gonna have a basically package coming from Pentagon, specifically from DARPA. It's like, okay, China is trying some spicy things, here's our anti-spicy things. So anti-spicy things will be put in there and launch. And you have to do all of this before 72 hours. Basically, you will get something, you have to integrate something, you have to put it on a rocket, you have to launch the rocket, you have to program the rocket, you have to do everything within 72 hours. And basically, Space Force can just like randomly, it does not matter, it's 2 p.m. at the, 2 a.m. in the morning, it's like, yo, go. The clock starts from that point. So that surprise go happened, and Rocket Lab delivered this in 16 hours, 42 minutes. Basically, yo, go. Thus, this puppy was in orbit in 16 hours, 42 minutes. That's fast. The second best record is from Firefly Aerospace, that is 27 hours. That's still fast. That's horrifyingly fast. Like, and be mindful, there are contingencies, like, okay, what happens if the weather is not cooperating? Who will you go back to? And if you look into what the Space Force wants to do, is like they're gonna do this sort of contract with almost all suppliers. The idea is, more suppliers you will have, the more likelihood you have that something would be ready at the time of need. So again, it's about the urgency, and the whole point of this satellite bus is that it's gonna go and observe. Like, let's just say there is a boom boom satellite. How the heck it's booming the satellite, so you can defend against it. So for that reason, you have to go and see. And if it goes kaboom, no problem. They're gonna have second, third, fourth, fifth, and all of this would be very rapid. It's like boom, 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 go. So, and satellite also started to work very quickly in 37 hours. Like, this was like kind of tricky. Satellites take way too long to warm up. Why? Well, first you have to wait for degassing to happen. So all the gases, all the moisture, everything just dissipate into basically vacuum. That will clear your stuff. Basically, it's almost like a flushing. If you don't do that, you could cause electrical arc or some fogging into some lenses or something. Basically, you do not want to move anything. Let vacuum pull everything out, like let's suck everything out. After you do that, you slowly apply magnet torquer, basically that magnetically aligns your system. Then you slowly apply your solar panel, align your dish. All of these takes time. Yeah, they did it in under 37 hours. Basically, at 37-hour mark, they're like, yeah, take the satellite is yours, go YOLO on it. It is scary that America is somehow able to A, think of it, B, fund it, C, actually deploy and test it. Yeah, they're ready for Taiwan. I can guarantee you that. They're like, oh, you have this system. Here's our anti-spice. Now we come to another spicy things, which is Link mission. So this is last hurrah of a very unique air launch, basically super big ass missile rocket system. So Pegasus XL. Now Pegasus is basically overgrown missile. It's launched from a carrier aircraft. Twing. So this was launched in 1990. It's an ancient system. It did 41 successful mission, and this will be 42 successful mission because when I'm making this video, it just launched few minutes ago. And you may be watching this very early if you are my basically paid member, so to say. Now, the target of this puppy is to go into that. Basically, 22-year-old Neil Greiser Swift Observatory. That observatory is very wide-band observatory, as in it has a visible telescope, it has ultraviolet telescope, it has X-ray telescopes, and it has gamma-ray telescope. Like, wait a minute, it's full high range. Yes, the aim is this puppy is hunting for cosmic boom events, as in supernova goes boom, the gamma detects it, X-ray fine-tunes it, and then they're like, okay, ultraviolet look, optical look, and within few seconds, it pings back the ground base. It's like any telescope that is able to look into that direction, look. So it's been working quite well. However, sun has not been kind on it. Sun had like a lot of what you call solar activity. Solar activity double dips you. Basically, first it pushes you physically. It's like not too much, but like pushes you, and then the atmosphere expands. That increases your drag. So it has reached a point where it's like if they do nothing in 6 months, the end. That will be the ended. So they're like, hey, might as well launch this space link system. The idea is this was built very quickly, like 6 months. So they're gonna have this. They're gonna launch from this. And why launch from this? Because A, it's cheap. Can SpaceX do that? Of course they can do it. It's just far more expensive. So they have to do it in cheap. This puppy will go there, have big ass solar panel, and it's gonna orbit the spacecraft for days, weeks, and then it's gonna analyze where to dock, because it does have grapple arm. But be mindful, this was not designed to be docked. The inherent structure is not built for docking. So the idea is, ideally, they will grab it from payload adapter. That's the structural system that is designed to handle some load. Now, again, they have to scan the whole system because, again, going through heating and cooling 20 times a day for 22 years is brutal enough, where they're like, hey, let's make sure the metal has physically not cracked or turned to dust. So that's why they're going to scan the whole thing. And once they are satisfied, then they're going to clamp it. After they clamp it, to make sure that they do not damage the craft, they're going to use 3 ion engines very gently. They're going to like, basically the same force that dunk it, they are applying almost the same amount of force to gently push it up. And after they push it up, I think that will also take a month because ion engines. After they do that, then they're gonna detach and orbit again. This time the customer would be Space Force. It's like, let me see, how can you see in something in low orbit? So this is Link mission. It just happened. But again, we're gonna know more about it in September. It's gonna take a while. So this was my presentation on basically interesting news that happened very recently. I hope you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you have enjoyed it, click the hype button. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.